Yo, welcome to the KaneSaid Sports Show, and I'm your host, Kane Bradfield. And y'all know my slogan, the fame is free, but the grind costs, baby. Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of KaneSaid. And I'm your host, Kane Bradfield. Y'all know my slogan, the fame is free, but the grind costs, baby. Listen, man, I got a special guest in the house. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Kane. Excited to be here, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Let the people know who you are, baby.
I'm Steve Pardue. I'm the new head football coach and athletic director of Springwood School down in Lynette, Alabama.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Coach, first of all, man, again, appreciate you for coming in.
Oh, man, wouldn't miss it. We've been talking about it for years, man, to make it happen.
We had to make it happen, baby. So, Coach, man, listen, man, if anybody, knows about football, knows about sports, man, your name gonna ring, man. So, Coach, man, I want to go through for a minute, man, to tell me, man, where did the love of football come from?
It's a funny question. It's like coaching. I never remember not wanting to coach. I never remember not loving football. I grew up, which is ironic because I grew up in Kentucky where everybody loves basketball, right. And I love basketball. I was one of those kids that if it was in season, that was my favorite sport.
Right.
Basketball, baseball, football, loved them all. But grew up in the western part of the state, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Got an opportunity to play for one of the greatest coaches in the state of Kentucky, a guy named Fred Clayton. He's a Hall of Fame coach there in my home state. Went on to Austin Peay in Clarksville, Tennessee, played collegiately there. And probably the biggest break of my life, coaching, life as a person, faith, I went to work for a guy named Conrad Nix. A lot of people recognize the Nix name, Bo Nix, the quarterback. That was his grandson. His son, Patrick, who is the head coach at Phoenix City now. Also played quarterback at Auburn back in the day. But Conrad was at Northside Warner Robins for a long time. Very successful coach. And, man, out of the blue, one of my college coaches knew him and got me hooked up, and I got the job. And we're there for 1 year. Then he goes to Albertville, Alabama, about a week after I got married. So I found out that my wife really loved me. And I left her there after 1 week with his wife.
Oh, man.
And again, his wife was a great influence on her also about being a coach's wife. And she and Patrick and his other son, Rusty, have a real bond because she wasn't a whole lot older than them. I was 23, she was 21, and they were 14, 15 years old. So we stayed really close with them. And then my brother-in-law had been a head coach at a small school in Western Kentucky, had done well and won the state championship there. And he left, and next guy didn't quite work out, and so I knew the superintendent. So at 25, I was a head coach. Dang. And don't know if I knew what I was doing, but I was faking it good, And I knew how to work, And that really, you put all the pressure on you, and nobody really cared that much, but you still. It's like coaching the Atlanta Falcons to me, you know. Yeah. But you did it all now. I mean, I cleaned toilets, I mowed the grass, I lined the field, painted locker rooms, And it was a great experience, man. I made some lifelong friends there and had a couple good football teams and learned a lot. But, man, there was a part of Georgia pulling at my heart. I knew that I wanted to get back to Georgia where football was king. And a guy named Sam Pickett was our secondary coach here. He coached me in college. His son, Paul, who was a great player at LaGrange, played at Alabama. Got me down for an interview, and Coach Guthrie offered me a job. The kicker was, though, my wife had just got out of college, and she had a job up there, and they didn't have one open here. So, man, we came on leap of faith, We loaded up the truck, and we drove to Nashville, where she was from. We get to Nashville late that night. We get a call. She's got an interview the next day. So she leaves at 3 o'clock in the morning. By noon, she's hired. So I told her, there was no doubt in our mind that God was involved, but that firmed the deal right there,
Yeah, they stamped it right then now.
So, and then first year here, I've been coaching single A ball in Kentucky. I had one guy break 5 flat on the 40. We go out to LaGrange to do our traditional Ironman test, and my job is to record the 40 times. I'm sitting there just counting how many guys we got run 4.75 or better, you know.
Right.
I get off the phone, I go home and call my buddies. I'm like, man, half our team runs 4.7, you know. Then about 2 weeks later, we start watching film with the other team. Found out they did too, you know, Griffin, Noonan, you know, so everything's relevant wherever you're at, you know. Coach Guthrie is a great guy to work for, and that first year was just magical, man. We go, you know, we're 14-0. We're going to play Colquitt County on Saturday night down in Moultrie, and you wake up in town, and everybody in LaGrange is talking about the number one team in California got beat Friday night. So we got to win that game to be the national champs, you know, and we go down there, and Walt Harris, who's a great player for us, Mississippi State, long-time NFL player, Walt blocked an extra point early. We put a lot of time on that, you know, but he blocked that extra point early, and we ended up winning the game by 1 point.
Man,
you know, so we, after the game, this is how unassuming Walt was. Me and Coach Branch is there, and it's like, Walt, the extra point was the difference. And he was like, Coach, I didn't even think about that. You know, he was just glad we won. You know, but then for years on, we'd always tell our guys when we're practicing, hey, don't worry about extra point, man. Ain't no big deal. We got rings because we blocked one.
Blocked extra point,
and we didn't get ours blocked. So, you know, you take care of business. But shoot, Walt had it was a really funny, somebody wrote a story about that morning. He took the SAT in Noonan because, you know, he had so many times you could take it. And we had chief police there from LaGrange, drove him back. Walt got out of that car, his eyes were that big.
Right.
And but somebody later wrote, then to seal the game, Walt had an interception.
What? Walt was going crazy.
They said Walt passed the ACT, blocked the PAT, and had an INT. So he had a big day there. He had a
big day, baby.
But then a year later, I moved over to the offensive line, you know, and kind of looking back, that was a real move for my career because I kind of learned the offense that first year, how we did at LaGrange, then the defense, defense, then the offense, and then I became the defensive coordinator for a year. And our defense coordinator left, and really, again, so many people important in my life. You know, Donnie Branch, you know how close we are. Well, Dee's in line to be the defense coordinator, you know, so Coach Guthrie offers him the defense coordinator job. And Donnie said, look, I got baseball going on and everything. He said, me and Steve are close. Once you make him the coordinator, I'll help him do it. Well, in doing that, that really put me in position to be the head coach when it opened up, you know. So a year later, Coach Guthrie left, and I became the head coach. We went 0-4, and I wasn't sure I was should be here. Most people weren't sure I should be there.
Look, I'm going to ask you, Coach. So when you went 0-4, man, give me those emotions, Coach. Like, what were you thinking? They're like, uh-oh.
You know, you think me and Donnie thought we need to work more.
Right.
You know, we're sitting up there drinking coffee, working 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, man, this ain't helping. Now, of course, now, don't get me wrong. Now, we opened up with Southwest DeKalb, had Quincy Carter.
How about I said, Quincy Carter years.
We had McKeecher, and they were loaded. Upson Lee was loaded. And we lost one we probably shouldn't have. I think Morrow or something. They were pretty good.
What year was this, Coach?
This was 94.
Okay.
94. Then we win a game. And we're 1-4, and we had some stuff happen internally that, you know, the stuff going on you don't know about. And I probably learned more lessons that year than the kids. And, man, you know, you hate it as a coach, but I had to get rid of, you know, discipline, get rid of some kids. And some of our best players, you know. And we won 4 of the next 5 games to go 5-5. So I thought, man, that was a good lesson for me. You
learned something.
But had a great core group of guys that were sophomores. J.R. Revere, DeMario Shank, Marcus Blandingberg, Shantae Woodyard, Steve Madrid. I could go on. Just a group, Carlo Hurd, really good kids, you know. And the next year we went 6-4. And then we started making runs into the playoffs, and it kind of took off, you know. And then when 2000 hit, when it really got lit, you know, it was and again, Sam Elijah-Butu, maybe one of the best players I've ever coached, you know, at any level. You know, he was a player.
Cole, let me tell you something, man. I'm bound back you up for a minute, man. In 94, Coach, I moved here in 94.
Okay.
And I was 2 steps away coming to LaGrange.
That could have been the difference.
Man, Coach, let me tell you something, man. Listen, Coach, man. I remember I was in the 10th grade, Coach. I was in the 10th grade, man, and I remember working out with Kareem. I've been working out with
That's probably why he didn't come. I'd have worked out, Kareem. I wouldn't have come.
Right. Blandenburg. I remember all us working out together.
Yeah.
At the field at Granger Park. I remember that, Coach, man, but Coach Eddie Payne, I don't know if you remember Eddie Payne.
Right, well.
He was like, anything you do not go. So I ended up going back to Hurricane, but I was so close, man. I could have been part of that thing, man.
That's interesting.
But go ahead, though, Coach. Go ahead.
But, just the, man, and I'm a big believer in God, and I think God put me in LaGrange, Georgia. I don't know. Somebody, well, you could have won championships anywhere. I don't know that, man.
Right.
I'll never say that. For some reason, me and these kids fit. Me and these parents fit. This community's always been just, people ask me where I'm from now. Well, I was born in Kentucky, but I live in, I'm from LaGrange.
Right.
I'm a Granger. I tell people when I've talked to them about other jobs, hey, now, I got to be honest with you. When I die and they cut me open, there's going to be a star inside that heart somewhere, because of just so many good and bad times. And, in the bad times, it's part of the journey, and you learn. You hear people say that the journey's better than, and it's true. I mean, when you win, man, I tell you, we won that first state championship in Cedartown, and I was pretty good. I was manned up, and everything until I saw my wife. And I'm telling you, Kane, every emotion in my body just came out, man. I just cried and cried and cried. And once I got it out, I was okay again, But again, you when you win, you're not thinking about you won. What goes through your mind was being in that weight room, being out on that 2-a-days, the line drills you did, the speed, all the work that went into it. And now we finally made it, you finally made it. And I always told our kids, though, to me, and people know me, I like to win. I want to win, but it's all about the preparation, though.
All day long.
I always said, hey guys, I got no problem losing. I really don't. If you do everything you can, prepare yourself. If somebody, you do everything you can, I'm talking about you don't chip a rep, you watch the film you're supposed to, you do well in class, you're not getting in trouble, all these things. You do everything all week. Somebody beats you, shake the hand, go back home, go back to work. But now, hey, man, Monday I didn't feel good, man. I skipped reps. I didn't push those 40s on Tuesday. Yeah. That's a bad feeling. And that was my job. I felt like as head coach, make sure you're prepared.
Make sure you're prepared.
And that I always said our season started in January.
True.
You can't wait. You can't wait.
Right.
That's like right now I'm at Springwood. I've been there 3 days and I haven't seen the kids much because there's things I've got to be doing right now. Ordering weight equipment.
Know.
You don't get it tomorrow.
No,
you're talking about 8 weeks at the most. So we're trying to make sure we're ready come May 23rd, first day after school's out. So I hadn't got to be around the kids like I like to, which I plan to be, obviously, but scheduling, just ordering equipment, just the things that people don't see
the admin
have
stuff
to be
right
done.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
But Coach, I'm back here again, man. You was talking about Sam. Coach, man, I wasn't coaching that guy, man. I used to train Sam. And I know as an athlete, he was insane, man. But I wasn't.
And I'd say the same thing whether he's sitting here or not. Sam had a little bit about himself when he was younger. He would drag in, lay, look, nothing bad, because he's too smart. He's too smart. He's not going to get in trouble.
Man.
But he's going to stay on that edge, And going into his junior year, I told him, I said, Sam, this ain't my team. It's your team. I said, I'm in charge of it, but they're going to do what you do. And I'll never forget, first day of spring practice, we always had a roll call at 3:40. He had to be seated in this team room. And about 3:32, Coach Crocker comes in, Coach said, ready. I said, what? He goes, everybody's dressed in the team room ready. And I walk in, front and center, Sam Elijah Booth.
No.
Because I knew what he did, they would follow, But from then on, shoot, man. I mean, he might have been as good a running back as we ever had here. We didn't play him there much, but I remember we were in the Georgia Dome one time. They had everybody just piled in there. And I called a run to Sam, and Coach Traylor's on the headset. He goes, I don't like it. I said, I like who we're giving it to.
Right.
I don't know if we blocked anybody. Boom, boom, boom. He scores. He was just the thing that separates Sam from so many other players is he was really smart, but sometimes being smart slows you down. But it didn't him. He could identify. Coach Branch and the defense coach put a ton of stuff on him. When you broke the huddle, not only what formation you're in, but like we had one team. I went and they were arguing. The coaches were, another room. I'm with the offense. I walk in defense. Guys, these guys are so simple, coach, so simple. I said, well, that's good. And they go, nah, it ain't that easy. I said, what are you talking about? Well, if they're in this formation and they got a fullback in the game, they're going to run this or this.
Okay.
They're in this formation, they got a tailback in, they're going to run this. I said, all right. He goes, Coach, they played 3 tailbacks and 3 fullbacks. You got to know their numbers,
Right.
I said, put it on Sam. I promise you, Kane. I think they had minus 26 yards the first half. I mean, it was like we were in the huddle. He was just on it. Coach Crocker swears he remembers one tackle he missed in game or practice.
Really?
I mean, he was just
Sam was just making them play.
He was, man. He was. People ask me all, and then Bruce Thornton was an unbelievable player, and Quint McCord. I spoke at Quint's funeral, and I owe a lot of my success to Quint McCord, and I didn't even think about it until I was riding over to his funeral, because Quentin ended up being the best player on our team his senior year, and he was our hardest worker. So from then on, I held the best player to that standard. You got to be the hardest worker, and I did it subconsciously through Quentin McCord.
Okay.
But that's the bad part about coaching, man. You get so close to these kids, and to see, it's kind of like a coach shouldn't die for, a player shouldn't die for his coach does.
Right.
Kind of like a kid and a parent. So I had to put old Toby to sleep was bad. But, he was a big part, like I say, still a big part of the program over there. But after we won that first one, golly, man, I was so hard on those guys that next year, because I was like, man, win back to back,
Yes.
And then we go down to Screven County, and I'd rather not talk about it, but, we make a fair catch. Game's going to be over. And fair catch, it pitches the referee, he jumps out of the way. And they knock it back in bounds. I've got Blake, I'm calling the offense. I'm calling the play. I hear Donnie said going, get the defense out. We got to block the extra point. They ran it in for a touchdown. They called it.
Oh, man.
So it's just crazy thing happened. But you know what, Kane? How our kids handled that adversity that night. I got more phone calls, more letters from people than I did after eating the 3 state championships.
Really?
And everybody says, man, if y'all hadn't got messed over there, y'all would have won 4 in a row.
Wow.
I said, I'll never say that, because I ain't sure that didn't fuel our 03 run. Because 03, of the 3 that won it there, 03 was the one that first of the season people wouldn't have picked.
Right.
Defense was juniors, a lot of them coming back, and Thad Todd was first year starter quarterback. And be honest, we weren't very good on offense for a long time that year. And but we kept finding ways to win. I don't know any other coach and friends of mine. I'm sure somebody else has done it. We won a playoff game 2-0.
That's crazy,
2-0.
And I remember that game.
Oh, all my boys would call me, hey, man, great game, but they had a typo on my paper. What was the score? And I said, wasn't no typo. That was that,
It's 2-0.
And again, who was it? Wes Woodyard made that play. Wes is the most opportunistic.
Right.
I remember when he had committed to Kentucky, so Joker, my friend who was coaching there, would call every week. How Wes say, well, he had a scoop and score. Well, he recovered 2 fumbles. He goes, does he ever not get a fumble? I was like, man, he's always around the ball. He's always playing hard, those kids, man, they just loved ball, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what separates our LaGrange kids. I remember when those first group, Shank and Blandenberg, Johnny out, all them, I'd practice them to death, run them into the ground, and then they're out there doing one-on-ones with each other. Just have JR throw us ball. I mean, I can cover you. I can cover you. Because it'd be an offensive guy trying to cover a defensive guy. You ain't doing it in practice, But that was key to me. They loved it. And then, but 03 was really magical. Like I say, we weren't very good offensively, and then we get to the Dome. We're playing Washington County, and they're really good. You know.
Yep.
And we come out on fire offensively. I mean, on fire. And, I got my headsets on, and I can click over to offense and defense.
Right.
So I'm talking to Coach Trader on the offense, while Coach Branch is talking to the defensive coaches. And I hope I don't get you trouble from saying that.
Go ahead. Come on.
I can hear him talk sometimes. If it's quiet, I hear him go, where in the hell did this offense come from? But I'm thinking the same thing. But we put in a little trick play. And I told the kids, I said, look, first time we get past the 50, we're running it.
Mm-hmm.
We'd fake a sweep, fake a count. Everybody said the quarterback puts it on the stomach. You just got to have a lot of trust, you can't see your back. So, And DeMario went down, and he blocked, released late, and Thad held that thing, turned around and threw it. I said, because every year it used to be at the Dome, there was a play that everybody talked about.
Right.
You know, like sometimes you may have gone to dinner and you missed it or something. I remember one year somebody threw a screen double pass deal. But this year our play was the play. Well, DeMario gets a 15-yard penalty. He goes and slams the ball into the Falcons deal. Everybody's mad. I'm fine. He comes over. I said, don't do it again.
Right.
You know why he did it?
Why he do it?
That's what Toby did first time he scored as a Falcon. Quentin McCord, who was his kinfolk. His uncles did. He just, so I knew, hey, he had decided to do that when we got to the dome.
I'm about to say, that was in the head already.
We weren't going to stop. Of course, Sam scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he didn't get a penalty. He went and did the Ken Norton Jr., the boxing on the goal post.
Yeah.
Like I say, Sam always knew how to skirt that edge, you know, and get away with it. But that was so big winning there. You know, like I say, we did that, and then we had to go to Peach County, though. I'm telling you, Kane, we're warming up, and I look at us, I look at them, I look again. If I look again, I'm going to get scared. They were just
they were loaded.
Huge. Oh, my gosh. They were so much bigger than us. And my pregame talk, I said, I think we can get under the pads, boys. We came out and scored the first 3 times we had the football. And again, man, we just played lights out, both sides of the ball. And that one, when it ended, everybody ran the field. I pinched my leg.
You couldn't believe it.
We just won this game.
It's crazy.
Then 2004, we come back. And I'll never forget, Coach Traylor and I lived in the same neighborhood. So something's wrong with this car. We were riding home together. We get done with practice. We get in the car, and he looks at me and goes, I sure hope we don't screw this up. I said, shut up, man. Don't say that. But that was how good we were, though. Defensively, you know, I mean, really, if we kicked field goal, the game was about over. You know, we tried to score some touchdowns, but we weren't going to do anything crazy.
Right.
But we had a good offense team, and we really rolled that year. You know, and fun year because we got to play state championship at home. You know, I'd been a part of 4 at LaGrange, and the only one won at home was 2004. We won it at Colquitt, at Cedartown, at Peach County, and then got to win. And that was the last game on grass. After that year, that game, somewhere in my house, I've got a baggie with some turf. Yeah, everybody was pulling it up, you know, because we were going to turf. Everybody knew it.
Right.
But that one was really, really a fun year. And then, after that, man, it just shows you what confidence does. Because you don't have to be as good. And, we're going back to the semifinals. And it was a fun time, man. And I was so blessed because I had the same offense and defense coordinator for 17 years.
That's
we didn't. Yeah, nobody hears of that.
No.
And we just didn't change coaches much. And a lot of times I don't remember ever hiring anybody that either I knew them or some of my coaching staff knew them.
Right.
And it's like any organization, man. If you come in and you think different than everybody else, well, if there ain't nobody to go with you, you end up joining in. We might have hired the wrong ones, but they had to be solo. So they jumped on board how we did it, And I always said, I ain't saying it was the only way to do things, but we had things that we did at LaGrange that we really believed in.
And it worked.
And it worked. And it was a lot of fun. And I thought I was through, but I'm not. And of course, the next few years were fun, LaGrange. And then I had been offered by Rich Brooks twice at Kentucky.
Okay.
And because of my relationship with Joker Phillips, most people know that, and I knew Rich Brooks, but I didn't know Rich Brooks.
Okay.
I said, man, if I'm gonna go into somebody's home and sit down with their mom and daddy, I got to be able to sell my head coach because I know I wouldn't let my son go play for somebody that I didn't feel good about.
Right.
So when Joker became the head coach, it's like, all right now, so.
What's up now?
We went and we looked back at it, man, and my wife and I both tell you, unbelievable experience. Part of me, I think I hurt my son a little bit, moving him around high school to high school, and I used to feel bad about it until he married his girlfriend from up there. So
you were like, okay,
I think it worked out good for him, and he still lives up there. You and I were just talking earlier about how great of a city that is.
I love it up that way.
But man, I'm telling you now, I'll never forget. We go down to Baton Rouge. My eyes are wide open.
Yeah.
The rest of these cats, they've been coaching college ball forever. Right. So we're out on the field and way before warm-ups. Them cats from LSU are out there, and they got the tight fit shirt and their shorts on, Yeah. And I said, God, Greg, look at their linebackers. He goes, I know it, man. If you miss that, he said, Coach, come here. that ain't the linebackers. Those are the safeties. There's the linebackers. And then old JC was playing for him, you know.
Yeah.
He comes over to me, and he's about 290 pounds playing fullback. And I ask our linebacker coach, because in college, you really don't watch the other side of the ball like in high school. You just watch what you're doing, you know. I says, how's that big fullback for them, kid from the Grange? He said, Coach, I ain't letting my guys watch film. And he guts them. He guts them, yeah. So it was fun to see that. I was like, and it was fun to, you know, I saw Jarvis Jones. You got to talk to him before. And the dadgum quarterback, he played at Flowery Branch. They beat us in the semifinals. His name will come to him. Played at South Carolina. He's coaching now. His daddy was a coach. His dad came to the game. I said, man, I thought I seen the last year's son.
Yeah.
Got beat twice by him. So, but it was a lot of fun. Man, like I told you earlier, T. Martin. I worked with T for a year. Got him Pat Washington, played quarterback at Tennessee. Randy Sanders, who just retired, was our offense coordinator. He signed some kids from here at East Tennessee State. He just left that. Yeah, he just retired from there. And Steve Brown coached some kid. He went with Randy, and he coached the DB from here that's playing up there so well, the Huzzy kid.
Huzzy, yeah.
Steve Brown. I coached him. So, man, he made a lot of great relationships, you know, and we love going back up there. We actually have gone to a game. I'm a little different. Most people get fired, man. I go back to see the people I know, you know.
Yeah.
But when they fire the head coach, they fire everybody. And, you know, we're all down, obviously, you know. Then in a couple of days, we have like our exit interview, and they start talking. Well, you won't get your cell phone money anymore. You won't get your laptop money anymore. You won't get your dealer car anymore, okay? But you'll get paid for another year and a half. I said, say that again?
Well, yeah, wind that back.
And I waited till they left, and I looked around at the other coaches. I said, boys, I don't know where y'all from. Where I'm from, it's time to have a party. This ain't time to cry. Yeah.
We still gonna get paid.
Yeah. So I set Chaz down, my son. Like I say, he loved it up there. But what he loved is that Joker allowed him to be on the field at games. He allowed him to, he had some kind of internship deal where he worked at the SID at the university as part of his high school experience. Well, a lot of days she'd have a meeting. She would just tell him to go to practice.
Oh, snap.
So our defensive line coach, David Turner, one day, he said, Steve, I'm going to call defects on you. Chad don't ever go to school. He's out there practicing every day. But I set him down. I said, man, you grown enough now. You're going to make this decision. I said, I got a year and a half pay. You got a year and a half of school. What do you do? Want to do? And he said, Dad, I really like it here. He said, but I know a lot of stuff I like, I'm not going to be able to do anymore. I said, you're right. Coach Stoops ain't going to let you
Right.
I mean, think about it, man. He got to stand beside Damian Clowney.
That's crazy,
You know, he came home that night. He's like, Dad, I didn't know how tall he was. I said, yeah. You know how little backs I had trying to block him, too. But he wanted to come back, graduate with his friends, play baseball here. And so we moved back, man. I was just a dad. You know, I took a year and a half off. At the end of the month, I'd check that bank account. That check was there. And I was good.
Okay, we good.
I was in there. I'd sit around some days and go, man, I hope they forget. You know, just keep it going. Will I call them or let them know or not, you know?
Yeah.
But then I started getting calls about jobs, and people were like, you be interested? I said, I'm interested in any job. I got to have a job, you know? And I didn't want to move. You know, we wanted to stay in this area and everything. And then, again, I refer back to God all the time. When we came back, we had been going to a contemporary church in Lexington.
Okay.
And First Baptist wasn't that then. So we decided to go to Noonan. So we started going to Southcrest in Noonan.
I'm familiar with it.
And meet the principal at East Coweta there. Become friends. He's a superintendent now there, Evan Horton. So I meet him, and a couple months later, that job comes open. So I got an in already, you know. So go to East Coweta, and that was a unique situation now. I mean, 3,200 kids. I think the first day of spring, we had 140 kids out. I mean, it was just yeah, it was different organization and everything. But, you know, we won 8 games 3 years in a row. And I'd always said when I got 30, I was retiring.
Right.
And whether I did 49%, go somewhere else. So I ended up going to Grange College, which was perfect for me. And just, I don't know, man, I really, you know what the worst part about, seriously, coaching college football is?
Give it to me.
You don't get to watch college football. You're no longer a college football fan because you work every Saturday.
You work every Saturday now.
Every Saturday, you know. So you don't get to tailgate, you know, fire your grill up, you know. Now, if we played a 12 o'clock home game,
you might catch
we were the happiest coaches, man. We know we were out of the office by 5 or so, you know, get to go and watch a game. But and I loved the the lifestyle of being a high school coach. You know, my deal at LaGrange was I'd go home Friday nights, and we used to grade the film. I let the coaches have a choice when they grade the film. I didn't care. And so when the kids were little, we'd all stay Friday nights and grade film because everybody sleep at the house. So while wasting Saturday morning, you get up, they're up, and you can do stuff with them, you know.
Right.
Well, I kind of quit when my daughter got in high school. I'd go home, hang out with my wife, wait till my daughter got in, then I'd go sleep. And I'd get up at 5, though. I couldn't sleep much. And I would grade my film, and then a lot of weekends I'd go out to the hotel when Auburn was staying here in town and drink coffee with those guys. And I did a little TV show, a little radio show. I'd go back to school, and I kind of cleaned everything up. You know, I needed done. And my goal was to leave there about 12, no later than 1. And for the next 12 hours, I tried to forget we had a football team.
Right.
You know, me and Todd Willis, a buddy of mine, lived in the same neighborhood. My Coach Paul, he was around us a bunch. But we'd grill out and watch college football all day. Man, enjoy it. Then get up Sunday morning, be back in the office at 5 o'clock, start watching that next game till about 9, go home, take a shower, go to Sunday school and church, and we'd come back and meet with our team, players, and coaches, and start our week. So I liked how that deal where you don't have that in college. No. College Saturday, you know, when you do get home, I mean, you don't have to work after the game, but still, you know, if you're away, man, you got to fly home, get all this, you know. So if you don't have a Saturday and Sunday, you're back at work.
You're back at it again.
You have to, 11 o'clock, at our office at 11 o'clock, you had to have your film graded. So you had to be in by 8 that morning, you know, and then you stay till about 11 that night. And then the next day, which to me in college football is you give your players off, they get one day off. Ours was Monday.
Okay.
We'd go in there at 7 o'clock in that film room, and we'd stay from 7 in the morning to 11 at night. Man. I mean, I drank more coffee on Mondays.
You probably.
Yeah, you just stand up sometimes. You just stand up, walk around, and then you're like, oh, man, the first time we did, I was like, all right, finally, man, we go to lunch for a little bit. They brought lunch. It was right there, right outside the door. It was catered meal. It was good food.
You walk out there and grab it, come back in.
Yeah, we wouldn't watch for like 20 minutes. Then you back at it, man.
Man.
That was such a long day. It really was, you know. But a lot of the parts I did enjoy. You know, you don't do laundry. You don't mark the field. Everything's done. You know, all that. But then, you know, recruiting to me is overrated. You know, of course, you know, a friend of mine warned me about it. He said, look, man, his kids, he had coached college all his life. He goes, my kids, that's the only thing they know. They know come May, I'm out spring recruiting. You know, my kids, my wife, that was a different deal for us. You know,
like, whoa.
Yeah, and then I'm missing my son's games, which I've never done.
Right.
Then sometimes I call Pam. I say, how'd he do? I don't know. I'm reading a book. I don't know what he did first. I said, we got one kid. You can't keep up that one kid bat when he bats, you know.
Right.
When I went there to start with and he stayed here, I didn't care because I had a couple friends here. A big Hugh Hood was the main one. Yeah. I say, look, if he stinks, I want to know. You tell me the truth. Know. Yeah. So I'd call him because Pam said, he got a hit, and I'd call Hugh. It's really an error. I said, who? It wasn't an error. Yeah, it was an error. He had an error. I said, I want to know the truth.
Right,
tell
give
me,
it to me. Yeah.
But like I say, we had a great time. East Coweta was a lot of fun, and then just been hanging out, man. And I'll be honest, Kane, for 2 years, I've been praying. You know, I've talked to you about some things possibly, you know, and I felt like I've got one more run left in me. Yeah. Was it a business opportunity? You know, I look for things, and the more I look, the more I started thinking, I really don't know how to do anything but coach football. Really, you know, that'd be athletics related. And man, you know, God just opened doors, and they called me from Springwood because my son, about the last 3 or 4 opportunities I've had, I'd get real excited, you know. And I called my son. He goes, "You're not going to do it." What do you mean I'm not going to do it, Dad? You got like that about that other job. Then I said, "Well, if I don't, I won't." You know, and something would come up I didn't like, something, and I didn't do it because I didn't have to do it. You know, that's the good part about my retirement. But this was different, man. It's a challenge. It's different. And I went over there. I said, "I'm either going to be the football coach or the athletic director. I don't know if I want to do both." And then, Coach, our numbers have been really down, and we got to make a decision really soon on whether we're going to play 8-man football or 11. Man, I couldn't get that 8-man out of my mind.
You like 8-man? What?
Yeah, well, I knew a little bit. My dad won a state championship in 8-man in the early 60s before I was born. Okay. But I'd never seen 8-man. I didn't know what position. So I go home, start Googling stuff. Yeah. You know, I'm on Huddle watching Oklahoma. You know, in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, they all have around 100 schools that play 8-man. State of Georgia has 36 now. I didn't know that.
No idea.
So I've talked to some of those guys. We don't have quite as many in Alabama, so scheduling's a little bit of a deal. Lafayette Christian's going to play 8 this year. Okay. They've kind of gone back, you know. And that's what some of them do.
Yeah.
So you don't have 2 tackles, and you don't have 1 skill guy. Mm-hmm. So where you line everybody up, man, I'm still learning. And I've talked to the guy that won the state in Macon at Windsor Academy, and I'm supposed to meet with him this week. But he was like, Coach, I coached 11-man football for 24 years. He said, ball is ball. A little bit different things you got to know, but, you know, as far as ball, it's no different.
Because you got to think, Coach, it's almost like a arena ball. Because in the arena ball, we got like 8. You know what I'm saying?
And the field is 40 yards instead of 53. So you narrow it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. They say in true rules of it, it's 80 yards long. Almost everybody plays it by 100 because the goalposts are already in place, you know. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what we'll do. But I'm trying to find out if Alabama's adopted our rules yet. Like I say, I've only been on the job 3 days, so I've been trying to get our equipment right. You know, Kane, I always had a philosophy that, man, I'm not going to put your son in anything I wouldn't put my son in. So I'm very conscious about that, you know, and I want our kids to feel good, man. Yeah. You know, I believe you got to look good, you know, play good, you know, and be clean and, you know, have some kind of emblem that people seen. They don't want no off-brand.
Right. Right.
Maybe I'm different, you're different. These kids ain't. That's one thing.
They know.
You know.
They know.
But they're, I think they're hungry over there in all sports. You know, they take a lot of pride in their school. It's a beautiful little campus. You've never been over there. It's 18.1 miles from my house. So it's a nothing drive. Right. It really is. I thought the first day I got there, I was like, man, it took me 27 minutes, you know, and I don't drive fast or anything, you know. So it'll be, and my wife's there. That's going to be different. You know?
That's a plus then.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out about that. Yeah. She did bring me lunch yesterday. That was a plus. Then she started asking about my business later, though, you know. So, but no, that'll be no problem. But they got some really good, some retired people that have come there, that's you know. And I think the schools, I told them at my little deal down there, I met the parents. I think it's a diamond in the rough. You know, we're not a diamond yet, but we want to work to get there. But I think we can. We've got a nice little stadium on campus, nice softball, nice baseball. Have a lot of LaGrange kids. We actually provide transportation for them. They meet at Piggly Wiggly.
Really?
And bring them through school and bring them back, you know. And if we get to where we need to do that for athletes, we'll find a way to do that too, you know. So, and I'm not saying it's right for everybody, but if it's right for you and you've got an interest in that kind of environment, you know, I was a public school guy all my life, you know, but I think you're seeing people trending more to private schools, you know, and I'll be honest, man, it's pretty refreshing, you know, when your headmaster comes on and says a prayer in the morning on the intercom.
That's good stuff, yeah.
You ain't got to worry about nothing, you know. So, I don't know, man, just living the dream, brother, living the dream.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something, Cole. That's some good stuff, though, man. When I saw that, man, I was like, heck yeah, man. I think you're going to do great down there. Like honestly, you know what I mean? Because, again, you got that rich history for one. You know what I'm
saying? It's got to change the way they think. You know, they're kind of used to not winning, I guess, a little bit, maybe have some excuses. And you know, I did some speed drills with a small group the other day, and I blew a whistle on the line. They're on the line, you know. Right. They pretend, you know, we're real now.
Let's go. It's go time.
You know, probably the best thing I ever learned from Conrad and Nix, man. If you tell somebody to put their hand on the line and go down and touch the line, then run through the line, if they don't do it, keep doing it. I mean, because I always tell them at LaGrange, hey, if I can't trust you to put your hand on the line, how am I going to trust you to switch up in man coverage or stay deep, you know, on a play action pass? You know, that's simple, you know, but it's so much eye training. I believe that part of training, I think we miss out on sometimes kids. A lot of times I make them do push-up sit-ups. They can never take their eyes off of me. And I move around the room because I just don't want them to get used to, you know, because you look down, everything's different. You look up, man. You know? Yes. So, you know, when you go down to hit that line, you know, how do you know? You're guessing you hit that line. See myself hit that line. So you're training. I can get on a soapbox. You know what I'm saying?
Smart stuff, though. Yeah.
Little things. You know, I was always taught little things make a big difference. You know, and like you talking about paying attention to detail and try to explain the drill to them. Hey, this isn't a 100-mile-an-hour drill. This is about a 3/4 speed. Now when I want 100-mile-an-hour. I'll tell you I want 100-mile-an-hour. You know, but there's different ways you train, and you know more than I do. But the main thing is you train. You train. You get consistent, you know. And like I tell kids, I said, you don't need me every day. But you're not ready every day. The days you're not ready, I'll know it, and I'll get on you to get you ready. You know, the day you come in, you're all juiced up, ready to go, shoot, I can sit in here and blow a whistle. Right. but I got to watch you to make sure you don't have those bad days because I believe those teams that have the least bad days usually comes out on the scoreboard. You can't control. You can't get fired up right before the game and go out and win. We were so hyped. Like, 5 minutes, that hype's gone now. I mean, seriously, but that hype, that work ethic of hype, now you can maintain it,
sir.
you know?
Yes, sir.
Have something in great conditioning, and nutrition's gotten so big. I know you're involved in that here. And we'll begin educating those guys on that. I had a lady down there. My son really struggles to gain weight. I said, we'll have a plan for that. I can't guarantee nothing, but we'll have a plan to help him, and
it's all about numbers game. You already know.
Right.
It's about numbers game as far as for nutrition. Yep.
And there's some genetics in there
too. No doubt.
Everybody in the family real big. There's a good chance, brother, you're going to be big one day, but we're going to try to control it as long as we can.
Right.
But I mean, guys that come from fast families. I mean, that was probably a fun thing at LaGrange is to coach brothers and cousins, and like Ashante Woodyard. That's Wes's cousin.
Okay.
Ashante's same age as JR and them. Ashante was a pretty good player his sophomore and junior year. All right. His senior year, he was a great player. And he could run, he could hit. But back then, people look at your film early, they didn't want, they'd chalk you off and everything. Right. So he goes to junior college, but then he goes to Purdue, finishes up 2 years at Purdue, starts at safety at Purdue, has a great career up there. So a few years later comes Wes. Wes is a pretty good player as a 10th grader and junior. Everybody wants film. I won't give him film. I said, wait till the first 3 games of senior year. He was just like Shante. He came out that senior year. He's killing people. We start sending film out. Now everybody's wanting him, And he fell in love with Kentucky. He fell in love with Kentucky. That's a good story. He came in. He went on an official visit during open week. Says, comes back, Coach, I want to go to Kentucky. I said, man, you sure? Yes, sir, I'm sure. I said, Wes, you ain't been to schools. Coach, I want to go to Kentucky. I said, I tell you what, you go home, pray about it, talk to your parents about it, and don't tell nobody else. And let's this thing go for about a week. If you still feel it, because, the worst thing to do is come out and say something, then
the pressure behind all that stuff.
Especially back in the day, there wasn't, we didn't decommit.
Right.
That was our rule. Now the world's changed and everything. I get it because the schools decommit to you now. So it used to be, there was a bond there. But, my guys knew, hey, once I commit, I'm in. So after a week, he said, Coach, I want to go to Kentucky. I said, there's no school in the country that you would go to other than Kentucky. No, sir. I said, one of Georgia calls. No, sir. Florida State. No, sir. Okay. So he commits to Kentucky. Week before sign. And then in January, he came in. He's like, Coach, man, I think I want to take some other visits. I'm going to Kentucky, but I want to take some visits. Okay. That's fine. We'll do that. And I said, oh, Wes, hold on, man. I said, you plan on getting married one day? He said, looked at me, he said, yes, sir. I said, you'll get engaged first, right? He goes, yes, sir. I said, so if your girl comes up and say, look, I still want to marry you, but I'm going to go out with a couple of these dudes. Are you going to be, got your point, Coach, I won't go no business.
Real talk, though. You gave some real, yeah.
But then, man, 3 days before, and I can say this now because he's no longer in coaching, 3 days before, Hugh Nall down at Auburn calls me.
Oh, man.
And says, Coach, if we offer Wesley Woodyard, we come to Auburn. I said, so you're offering? He said, no. He said, Steve, we can't get beat by Kentucky on somebody in LaGrange. He said, but if you talk to him and he says he'll take it, we will offer. So I call him down. He said, Coach, I'm going to Kentucky. I gave him my word. Great, so stuck to his word, went up there, and I'm telling you, Kane, you go up there and spend much time in Kentucky, talked about people. He changed the culture of that whole program.
Now, I'm going to tell you, man, when I was playing arena ball, he was in college then. And I just, I remember his name just flowing throughout there, man.
I said, he came, when I was coaching there, he came back for a game. We're tired. Notice he was antsy, like trying to get away from me. I said, Wes, you need to do something. He goes, yeah, Coach, I got to be the S in Wildcats are spelling on the court, the cheerleader. They bring a celebrity every week. I was like, well, go, man, go.
Right.
Chaz my son was playing baseball, and one of the first games I meet one of the parents. And he goes, you're the new coach, came from LaGrange, aren't you? I said, yeah. He goes, you coached Wesley Woodyard, didn't you? I said, hold on a minute. Calls his wife over and said, you'll never guess who he coached. said, tell him, Coach, tell him. I said, Wesley Woodyard. Said, oh, he goes, Coach, only man I think she'd leave me for. He said, she got a shrine on him downstairs. Man. But again, man, it's like I always told you, how you carry yourself, how you are. You know, think about Wesley Woodyard 24/7. You're gonna get the same dude.
Stand up guy. Yep.
And we were telling he called me now, man. And, we mess with each other all the time.
Right.
But proud of all those guys. Braxton now, Kelly. He's gotten into coaching, doing a really good job.
Yes, sir.
I got so many Braxton.
But I'm about to say, Coach, man, look, you had a bunch of guys who's still impacting right now.
No doubt. Marcus Blandberg, man,
yes.
I talked to B. I said, look, if you ever want to coach high school, I hope you do it. But, man, understand how big a deal you're doing down there at Gardner-Newman, man. He's got so many kids. And I tell you, I've never met a parent say a bad word about him.
Nope.
Because they know he loves them.
Yep.
He can be tough on them. He'll get after their tail.
He'll get out there, man.
But he knows he loves them.
From a good place,
and Kelly Reed's over there helping him, and Brandon was helping. Now he's up there helping his brother now, Braxton, the twins.
Yep.
But yeah, man, LaGrange has been awfully good. People say, man, you did so many great things. LaGrange's been awfully good to me, man. I raised both my kids here. My daughter lives here now. My grandkids and special place, man. Really is. And I'm proud. I'm proud of. I don't have that. I really don't. Some of my LaGrange fans, they don't believe me, but really. When I go to watch Callaway and Troop, I want them to win, man. They're kids, man. They're kids from our town, man.
Right.
I went to state championship game when Pete won, you know. And shoot, I tell you, they got it going. You got to think they got a chance every year.
Every year, man. Just, they put it together.
They put themselves in position to, Again, I think they've got a real consistent workroom and ethic, how they doing things. And, and Coach Glisson has got it going over at Troop. I'd love to see us two of them played each other for a championship one time.
Man, it'd be nice, though.
We got close, and I think 2001, we both played in the Dome in the semifinals. We played, and then Troop played afterwards. And I think every Troop, I ain't say every, but a bunch of Troop fans came and supported us, and a lot of LaGrange fans stayed after and supported Troop. So that was really a neat experience for this town, this city, and county. And again, we've had people support athletics around here. You can't put a premium on that. The businesses, the way they go out of their way to help these kids, and our facilities we got now. Oh my God. I mean, we got three high school teams with indoor facilities.
Nice.
Yeah, man. The guy that was another, proud moment when they named the building after me there.
Yeah,
man. I'm thinking, man, I'm Steve Pardue from friggin' Hoptown, Kentucky. Ain't no building named after me.
You got a building, baby.
And then, this past summer I went to the Hall of Fame, and that was a real, deal. It was one of those things I never dreamed about it. It wasn't one of my goals.
Right.
I did dream about winning state championship.
Right.
I dreamed about winning 3.
Right.
I really did, because every day we had these banners and had Coach Honeycutt who won 2. And I said, man, I want to win 3. So, I wish I'd won 4, but I had a chance. But it was a great run. And again, you can tell I'm juiced up again to go again. Man. I'm trying to stay myself. And that's another thing I'm trying to teach those kids at Springwood. Stay a healthy lifestyle. Stay a healthy. Don't just make this a temporary deal. Create habits in high school. I got kids will tell me in college, Coach, I still do our workout.
Really?
They're just students not playing sports. I still do clean squats, all this stuff. And I saw one a couple years ago. I said, man, you gotten fat. I'm honest with him, I saw him about 6 months later. I said, man, you look good. He said, man, Coach, I ain't gonna lie, you woke me up. You woke me up. So I'm still gonna coach him if I see him.
Right. You got back in grind mode.
Yep. But then again, you just create, but what you do here, what you're doing with these guys, that they take the same intensity to math class, English class, Bible study, whatever you're doing, you're going to be successful, man, because, I always told our guys, hey, 99% of people in this country make excuses. Remember that 1%, man, I'm not making an excuse, just take care of the little things. It's not like, I want to get faster. Run.
Yes.
Just keep running.
Yes.
People don't, I don't want to run to get faster. Well, that's kind of hard then,
you gotta run now.
I want to get, so many people, like I think where I'm at, we're embarrassed to lift because we're not real strong. Well, you'll never get strong. And don't worry about where you are. It's where you're going. What we're working to.
Yes, sir. I like that. So, Coach, I'm asking this, man. So, you know what I mean? So, typically at the end of every show, man, I give everybody the opportunity to leave the listener, the viewers, something positive. You kind of touched on it right then, but give me more, Coach.
Oh, I read something the other day, and I wish I had it in front of me, but to paraphrase it, and I told the kids at Springwood this because, they're not getting a guy that's worried that I already won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't, if you're today, basically is what it said, if your today is built on what you did yesterday, you're not going to have very good tomorrow. So no matter if yesterday was bad, I got to go today. Yeah. Yesterday was good, I got to go today. Don't rest on your laurels, I guess, or don't. And that's opposite of that. I've always said there's two hardest times in your life. Really, when things go really good, man, everybody's happy and they praise the Lord. When things go bad, man, you Lord, I need you now. I need you now.
Come on now.
And that's like you get beat in the game. Man, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna work out hard. Low time. Hey, we won. What about when I'm here? When I'm in that middle, just kind of like for a high school football player now, man, it's March 24th. Man, we ain't got a game to August 23rd or whatever. Man, I may not go to school today. I may not, I'm gonna skip a couple reps, So don't take breaks, man. Don't take breaks. And other thing I always tell my guys, man, sleep fast.
Sleep fast.
Sleep fast. If you sleep fast, you ain't got to sleep long. People always say, I'm tired, dude. I say, man, you didn't sleep fast enough.
Sleep fast.
I mean, because really, you don't, man. You got, like hey, when you start having children,
oh, man,
you better learn how to sleep fast. Learn how to sleep. You ain't going to get a whole lot.
Man, you better learn how to sleep when you got kids. Yeah,
I taught you keep having them, too. I'm trying to work with you. All right.
Game is over, Coach.
I was going to tell you, I got a health degree. I could help you out with what's causing it, but.
Go. Man, the last one was a surprise, though.
Yeah.
I guess you can say that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done, Coach.
I'm going to tell you what. Ain't nothing like grandkids, though, are they?
Ain't nothing like grandkids, man.
I ain't kidding you, man.
I'm telling you a funny story, though. Speaking of grandkid, their uncle is going to be, in the same grade.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hey, one of my best friends, he has a son same age as my grandson. He's 60 like me. We both got 8-year-olds.
Man, that's what I told my son. I said, man, but these kids going to be in the class together. They're going to think they're brother and sister. Right. But they're going to be uncle and niece.
But, I had several kids like that at LaGrange.
Really?
I said, he's your uncle?
Cool.
Same age, But they'll be like brothers.
Right.
They'll be like brothers, really, But I tell you, my daughter tells me all the time, she say, what'd you get them at school? I got them popsicle, this, that came. Who are you? You wouldn't do that for us.
Who are you?
She called my brother, my son. You ain't gonna believe what he did with them,
Who are you?
Hey, but they my grandkids. I can spoil them if I want to, man.
I love it, man. I love it, man. Coach, man, listen, man, I appreciate you, man, for coming through. It's not gonna be our last time talking. I'm gonna be following, what you got going on in Springwood, man. Definitely gonna be doing that. Coach, I appreciate you, big dog.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything you do with these kids around here. I think people don't understand, that they see the training, they don't know the other stuff you're trying to teach them too, And unfortunately, people say, well, I can train my kid on my own. Well, kids don't really listen to the parents.
Voice, you know
what I mean? They need to hear it, That old saying, takes the village, and that's true. It really
is.
That's
it, man.
Thank you for everything. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, everybody, man. Y'all know what it is. Thank y'all for listening. Zip them up.